If your glue joints keep failing, you might be blaming the wrong thing. It's easy to point the finger at the glue or the wood, but sometimes the real issue is hiding in plain sight. Maybe you've switched glues, or even tried a different species of wood, hoping for better results. You might have spent extra money on premium glue or exotic hardwoods thinking that would solve the problem. But let me ask, have you ever thought your trusty clamps might be the real culprit? It's a detail that's easy to overlook, but it can make all the difference. A lot of woodworkers believe that tighter always means stronger. The logic seems simple. More pressure, better bond, right? I used to think so too. So I'd crank those clamps down as hard as possible until my arms ached and the handles wouldn't budge. But here's the twist. More pressure doesn't always mean more strength. In fact, it can do the opposite. In fact, overclamping can actually make your joints weaker. Here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Modern wood glue isn't about filling giant gaps. It's designed to work best in a thin layer, not as a gap filler. It's about soaking into the wood fibers and creating a tight bond between two surfaces. The glue needs to penetrate the grain to lock the boards together. For that bond to work its magic, you need a thin, even layer of glue between the boards. Too much or too little can both cause problems. But if you clamp too hard, you're squeezing almost all the glue right out of the joint. That means there's barely anything left to hold your boards together. That leaves you with what's called a starved joint. It looks neat, but it's actually fragile. Not enough glue left behind, and your bond is toast. The joint can break apart with just a little stress. But wait, there's more. Overclamping can actually cause your boards to bow just a little, building up hidden stress in your panel. That stress can show up later as warping or cracks. A few weeks down the line, you might notice warping, visible joint lines, or even a subtle separation. All that effort, and the project still fails. Not what you want after all that hard work. It's frustrating to see your project fall apart after you thought you did everything right. So, what's the fix? Aim for even, controlled pressure. You want the boards to be snug, not crushed. When you clamp, look for a small, consistent bead of glue squeezing out along the seam. That's your sign you've got it just right. Not rivers, not dry spots. Just a neat, uniform line. It should look tidy, not messy or starved. And clamp spacing matters too. For most panel glue-ups, a clamp every 6 to 8 inches does the trick. This helps distribute pressure evenly across the whole panel. Here's a quick test you can try at home to see the difference for yourself. Glue up 2 scrap boards. On one, clamp down like a pro wrestler. On the other, tighten just until you see a light squeeze out, then stop. Let them dry overnight. After they dry, cut across the joint. Take a close look at where the break happens. The one with even pressure will usually break in the wood, not along the glue line. That's real strength. The wood fails before the glue does. So next time, don't rely on brute force. Rely on smart, controlled pressure. Your joints will thank you, and your projects will last longer. If this surprised you, drop even pressure in the comments. Let's see how many of us have been making this classic mistake. Stronger isn't tighter. Stronger is smarter. Remember, the right pressure makes all the difference in woodworking success.